Hey, Colorado, Chris Lopez here, and today's podcast episode is your monthly market update. So we're going to talk January trends and deals for Southern Colorado and Denver. And I've got my usual crew of Jenny Bayless down south. What's up, Jenny?
Hey, Chris. Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing really good. Preston Newberry up here in Denver. Hey, Preston.
Hey, Chris. Glad to be on again this month.
And a voice many of you know, but sitting on this month is Jeff White, a house hacker and broker here at Envision Advisors. Glad to have you on the call, Jeff.
Yeah, happy to be here.
On the podcast. I'm going back to like old conference calls. Yes. Yeah, I need to get my mind back in the game there. All right, so we are doing a podcast, but let's start with some trends here because, I mean, we are recording this about halfway through February. And this is when traditionally springtime selling it's going on.
Starts to hit the runway. Yep.
Yeah. So Preston, what are you seeing?
It's getting active out there again, which we're happy to see, and especially as we move through January. I know we're recording this, partway through February, as you mentioned, but things are getting active again. I think we kind of got through the holidays. We got through a little bit of the seasonal side of things that we haven't seen in a couple years, and it's definitely starting to pick back up. And I'm sure Jeff is seeing this as well, working with some clients and being out there, with people, but it's definitely getting more active. And I think the thing that, we're seeing is, yes, there's more inventory on the market. Some of the stuff that has been sitting for a long time is still not moving because buyers have a little bit of opportunity and the ability to choose for what they want. And the stuff that is priced right and in locations where people want to be and is in good shape is still going in the first weekend.
Yeah. I concur with pretty much all that. That's I definitely know same trends where people, if you price it correctly, the last 30 days or so, it will pretty much get offers, sometimes multiple offers.
Yep.
And if you're priced incorrectly or stuff from back in November, December, or listings that didn't sell, usually they're price reductions or they're just going to keep sitting until
they're going to be stale,
yeah.
Right? And that's just it. Once you have a listing that starts to go stale, it's kind of a downward slope at that point.
Yeah. Jenny, what are you seeing down south?
Same thing. Just kind of, it definitely feels a little different, like seeing houses go under contract quicker than what they had been over the last couple of months. I know that Leah is currently in a bidding war down in Pueblo on a bank-owned property for her client. That's getting a lot of interest.
Bank-owned property.
Yeah.
It's not something we've heard a whole lot about in the last few years.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
Has the wave of foreclosure started down there?
I mean, I don't think like, a wave. I think this is kind of like a one-off situation, but yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of a few years ago where you're actually seeing decent deals come up and but we are starting to see a little bit more activity on these.
Are you guys starting to see an increase in inventory down there a little bit? I know the last couple of months it's been kind of about the same and flat. So is it starting to some stuff come on the market yet, or
not really? I think we're kind of in the same boat. Like total active went down a little bit from last month again. So it's just
interesting.
Yeah, it's still getting absorbed pretty quickly.
And that was something I was excited to kind of see, or interested to see, like the inventory trends. And I'm just reading off a few bullet points here, but January 22 for Denver Metro up 250%. From January last year. However, that's extreme because last January was 1,200, which was a record low. And we're about 4,100 right now, which is still below where we're at in January 20 and January 19, which were about 5,000 and 6,000. So we're still in like a very, very low inventory environment. So still technically a seller's market.
Well, and I think the other interesting thing is when you take the average from 1985 through 2022, average listings in January was 12,400. So that just kind of puts it in perspective for the Denver metro area. Is like, yeah, we're seeing inventory numbers come up, big percentage numbers, but we're still historically very low on inventory. So, it's a little bit more in the buyer's favor than what we've seen the last couple of years, but it's definitely not anywhere near what we would consider a balanced market.
No. And is that kind of the same inventory trend you're seeing down there, Jenny?
Yeah, exactly. Like relatively speaking from last January, I mean, it's up like 3 times, but it's still only 1,600 units. So it's not that significant. It just looks drastic compared to last year, which was an anomaly.
Well, we'll have a good clickbait headline then for 300% inventory growth or whatever it is. So we got a lot of really good data for all the numbers. We'll put in the show notes. I do want to read off a couple bullet points here because Lon Walsh Earcastle sent out some, I thought some really good like bullet points that just summarize this trend so well. So I'll read off a couple and you guys jump in with thoughts. Sellers are not bringing as many homes to market as we expect. Supply side is limited. That's what we're seeing right now. And this is from a video that he aggregated some notes and summarized. No chance of any large price decline in Colorado. Odds are now more likely that prices will go up slightly in 2023. So we like predicted numbers here.
Yep.
And so we've all been, I think, waiting around to see springtime. It's about the earliest time we can start really calling things. But I would agree with that sentence.
I would agree with that as well. And, just looking at the numbers from this time last year, we're still up 3% from January of 2022. So, marginal compared to what we're normally seeing, but we're not seeing these big, huge price drops like you see in the headlines and all this stuff going on. So I think that really goes to show that the market is still moving, deals are still happening, and real estate's a great place to be.
Yeah, if you watch I call them Crash Bros on YouTube and the podcasters, they just focus in all the negative headlines and saying, oh, we get a 30% price drop on major metro markets like Denver, Colorado Springs. And basically, that's not the reality shows. It's much different. Like what you just mentioned, the average is up 3% from year over year. So that includes all the rates going from 3% to 6% that last half of the last year.
I don't want data. So
Okay.
Do you agree with that statement or not? I agree. No, so I don't want to get this. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, you agree,
because-
Jenny?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I would agree too. So it's just, I mean, for all those reasons, also goes on to say if you have buyers, look now, don't wait later into spring as inventory is likely to get tighter.
I would agree with that.
You would agree, Jeff?
Yes, it's the best time to look in the cold months.
Jenny?
I don't know. I think, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that one.
Okay.
I think we're probably going to see some more inventory increases here in Denver, but I think the competition is going to continue to come back out of the woodwork. I think we're going to see more active buyers. I think even though the inventory levels are going to go up, I think we're going to see activity and deals getting under contract go up as well along with that. So it's going to just compress that and make it feel like it's more competitive like what we've seen the last couple of years. So knock on wood, we'll see what happens, but I think that's very possible.
All right. So you think inventory get tighter? Jeff says tighter.
Yep.
Jenny says flip a coin.
Yep.
Take that easy way out, huh? Cool. So, I mean, like I said, I think, we could talk a lot about numbers all day long, but I think we covered the highlights for trends. Again, details in the show notes, a bunch of trend stuff. Any key points or data points you guys want to talk about before we move on to some deals?
I mean, the biggest one for me, I think, is showing that we're up 51% in under contract properties from where we were in December of 2022. So for me, that's a very big metric that just goes to show that people are out making deals happen again.
Do you know, I don't have those numbers, is that a typical seasonality jump or bigger or smaller than we normally see from December to January?
I think that's pretty close to typical seasonality. Obviously, we haven't seen that the last couple of years, but it's only down 8% from January of 2022. So I think that kind of goes to show that, things are getting back into the seasonal realm and moving ahead.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And
All right.
I was just going to mention down here, I know we mentioned last month that we saw our first year-over-year dip in prices, and we are back up to flatline for median sales price, and we're actually up 6% year-over-year for average. So I was thinking we were going to kind of be in a price decline year-over-year, at least through spring. So I guess, I'm not sure how it'll play out, but it's not super drastic as we all expected.
Well, maybe we kind of hit
That's a good rebound.
bottom of the price right
Yeah.
there, and we'll see. But I doubt prices will go down going in the springtime.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's move on to the deals here because this is, there's trends to talk about, and then there's active deals as far as what's being underwritten, what's being closed, what's getting terminated out there, just deals being done. And actually, Jenny, I'd like for you to start because one stat that leads into this, because I know you had a Burr property under contract, and we're seeing potential there. And I mean, the stats show there's potential for some price discounts. We saw in Denver a negative 1.9% discounts in January. Last year, we saw about 2% price premium. So that's the sales price, final sales price to the list price. So slight decline in prices. So prices aren't falling, but as you have under contract, there's potential out there for BRRRRs and stuff. Talk about that.
Yeah. So definitely think that you just kind of have to keep your eyes peeled. And this particular neighborhood, I already own 2 properties in, so I know the value pretty much like instantaneously. I could see that this property is probably worth 300 to 320 with some paint and flooring and a good cleaning, and it, got it under contract for 250. So that's a pretty good partial BRRRR opportunity right there. So I think people just kind of need to open their eyes to the big picture aspect, that there's some potential equity potential in a lot of these listings. So
Yeah, so I think that's one of the plays that's shown out there right now is, the partial BRRRRs are just grabbing some equity.
There's opportunity,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're seeing right now. And if like Jenny said, if you open your eyes a little bit and kind of dig deeper a little bit into kind of what the opportunities may be, I think there's definitely some stuff out there that can be valuable for people.
Yeah. And definitely as a reminder, we did a few months ago relaunch our deals email list. So we've gotten, we send out usually 1 to 4 deals a week, typically geared towards on house hack, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, not flips and things like that, but the properties that we talk about in the podcast a lot. So links in the show notes, or go to the website, hop on there to see it. And if you guys have properties you need help selling, we have a lot of people looking to buy as well. We've had a few agents, investors reach out to help us float a property. So we're definitely in deal-making mode. Yep. And it's a good way to learn about deals. All right, Jenny. So have potential BRRRR. Any other deals?
Just a couple that are in the works. So maybe I'll have the details on those next month.
Oh, give us like the 1-sentence teaser. Like, give us the headline.
Deal blast property that Leah floated. She's in negotiations with it. And I think that, if the buyer is able to lock it up, I think it'll be a great property for him.
Cool. Is that a rental in Pueblo? Or
yeah, it was a rental in Pueblo. So hopefully that's enough of a teaser that everyone signs up for our deal blast list.
I love it.
I like it.
Jeff, I know you've had a couple closings. I know you closed on a house hack recently, but you've had a couple really cool client stories on the house hacking side. That first one, I think, was a 6-bedroom, 2-bath house hack.
Yep.
What were the high-level details on that?
So purchase price $500,000, $15K seller credit, and when Preston was just talking about how much it's gone up from December till now, we were able to negotiate that credit because we had no competition. And the house was sitting for 30 days. So we were able to get that credit on the front end. And on top of that, we got everything fixed that was wrong with it, like the water heater, some other miscellaneous window repairs, like everything, plus the credit. And they were able to get the rate down to 6.125.
All right. So $500,000 purchase price, 5% down, 6 1/8 interest rate. What's the house hackers plan? Are they room by room rental, or?
They're doing both. So it's a couple that's going to live in the master room, rent out the other rooms upstairs, and then rent out the downstairs to a long-term tenant. And by doing that, they'll easily live for free and probably make a few $100 a month.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Even at that rate.
So even at 5% down, rates in the 6s. If people want to put some work into it and live with roommates, still possible to live for free and cash flow.
Absolutely.
And then you had a interesting, I think it was a room by room townhome.
Yep.
Talk about that, because
that was a cool one. That was a townhome over in Inglewood. Used the grant loan for that one, that particular client. And what's crazy about this one was another one that was in December when we got under contract, on the market for 30 days, no competition, and just, if you ask for credits on the front end, sometimes they get them. So we asked for like a 5K credit plus the grant loan. So she was able to get the rate down from like 6.25 to like 5.8 and convert it from a 3-bed, 2-bath townhome, about 1,400 square feet. The basement had 2 egress windows down there, like a huge basement, and adding 2 more bedrooms down there to make it a 5.2 for $355,000.
That's very
awesome.
Easy value add
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. So
Because that's the
crush
catch
it.
a lot of times is,
Yeah.
there's potential, but there's no egress windows.
Exactly. Already had him right there.
Yeah. And now the HOA doesn't approve of you cutting holes in the building.
Yeah. So she already got permission.
Yeah.
It worked out fine.
And so that's a house hack. And it sounds like she probably brought very little money down to the table.
Yeah, with the grant.
I mean, what?
She actually got
Under
a check.
10 grand,
No, she
probably?
actually got paid because of the credits. She got checked back at closing for a couple grand.
Yeah.
To buy that place.
Can't
What
beat
was she
that.
all in? I mean, she had to be all in for a few bucks, right?
Yeah, for like the repairs. So
Yeah.
probably all in a few grand. For
Okay.
adding those walls, doors, closets, stuff like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So bought a house hack, almost zero down. Going to live there. And it sounds like, I'm saying when she moves out in a year or two,
Yep.
it would cash flow.
Oh no, even when she's there, if she rents, she's gonna live in one room, rent out 4. She'll live for free.
Cool.
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are 2 great opportunities, and these are all properties that closed, I think, last, few weeks?
Week and a half ago.
Yeah, a week and a half ago. So obviously they work for house
Mhm.
hacking, which that strategy almost works and kind of never stops working.
Yeah.
But also for investors out there that want to buy properties in Denver and cash flow, there's a lot of
There's
opportunity
still
to
stuff
do
out there.
room by room rentals if you're going to make some like strong cash flow with minimal money down. Preston, I know you got some stuff in the works. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we're seeing again opportunity. I've got a couple of our agents that have some deals under contract. One of them is in our favorite condo complex in Aurora, and still stuff is cash flowing over there. You know, price points are between $250,000 and $300,000. Rents are still around $2,000 to $2,200 a month, so they cash flow every month, and you know you can't go wrong with that. So there's still stuff going on, stuff happening out there, and we know we're there to help you find those deals.
Cool. In terms of deals and stuff coming on, I know you guys are underwriting deals. We covered the ones I wanted to. Any other things you see in the market, recent deals, opportunities that just have you guys like keeping your eye on, or things to focus on, or concerns, considerations? Just open it up.
I think one of the big things I'm seeing in the market right now is you can be a little bit more creative when looking at property types, right? And I know Jeff is a big fan of this, but now that there's a little bit of breathing room in the market and you can actually go look at a property and like, kind of look at what the opportunities may be with that instead of, oh my gosh, here it is, I have to get it right now and we'll figure it out later, right? You have some time, you can get a little bit more creative. Hey, let's add a bedroom here. Cool. Let's look at putting a bathroom in here. What can we do here? Just like the townhouse with Jeff. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm seeing right now is you can be and need to be a little bit more creative when looking at properties and kind of get outside of that box of, oh, hey, it's just this is what it is right now, but being able to see what opportunity there may be with it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the same sentiments. Just you can actually think about a deal now and run the numbers and not have to make a decision in 5 seconds. You can go through the process, shop multiple deals, look at multiple deals and find the one that hits all the criteria that the investor is looking for. And I think that's a huge advantage right now for these investors, because if you sit back and wait till rates go down, who knows? That's where I think waiting, just buy now and then make a deal work if I hit your goals. But also if rates go down or go up, it doesn't really matter because it's just a dollar cost averaging technique that we should all apply. Despite I know you talked about that in the past doesn't matter what, the rates could be 10%, 6%, 5%. You can always refinance later if they go down.
And you closed on your most recent house hack, was it December?
December, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just, hey, you closed on one basically about 8 weeks ago. Yep. Jenny's out there actively hunting. Like, I mean, there's deals out there.
Oh, yeah. And same thing with that one. I'll go into in a future podcast, but basically no competition. And because I was willing to move in the middle of winter, like literally no one does that, and you get the best deals. So it's a trade-off.
Yep. Jenny, looking to you for any final thoughts on deals and trends.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is an official indicator or anything, but I am not getting constant emails about free lunches, free breakfasts, happy hours from builders. So take that as you will.
That should actually be an index we could create. The the home builder
home builder
freebie
incentive program.
Index, no, that's actually, I mean, we joke about that. I mean, that's an indicator there. And I mean, that is where, that market has changed and slowed down. I've heard mixed results from their agents. A lot of people are saying, they're open up. I've heard a few agents still griping about trying to work with builders. I mean, what are you guys hearing?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a mixed bag right now at this point. I think some of the builders, especially some of the smaller, medium-sized ones, are still getting more creative and being more open to that. I think some of the bigger builders are still trying to hang on to what they had, and kind of stick their feet in the sand. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to do what they have to do to get a deal done. So
cool. Awesome. Yep. Well, guys, thank you so much. If you guys need help in putting a plan together or helping to find a property, reach out to us. We all love looking at deals. We do a lot of portfolio reviews right now. If you got rental properties, definitely a prime time to sit back and look at your portfolio to optimize it. So reach out to us. We can get you up with a Property Llama account and make sure you get plugged in the deals email list just to even see what's going on. Jenny, Preston, Jeff, thank you guys. This was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Chris.
Chris.